what would be your brutally honest advice for them to make $1 million?
I think it's easy. Like I would make an agency stuff. I don't like doing agency work, but I think it's the easiest way to make $1 million. Like totally easy. So for instance, there's a guy named Jordan Ross. You've seen his ads on Twitter. You don't know the hell he is, but it's like, if you have an agency and you want to get more money, click my ad. Now, the reality with agency work, there's kind of two components that are really challenging. Is that how do you actually justify your ROI? Because if I came to you, Mitchell, and I said, these videos, you get how many views? 100,000. I can double it to 1 million. I can 10x it, and it costs you $1,000 a month. Would you pay?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, we work. I know each other, so it's different. But what most people are missing on their agency work, I'll go over the two pieces. But the first one is that they're not creating enough significant value for their customer. And then when they come with problems that the customer doesn't give a shit about. So if you're doing videography and you want to make someone's videos, you come to them and say, hey, I can double the amount of videos you make. Or I can save you this much time. Or I can save this much cost. And it'd be very clear. Or Facebook ads, another great one. Hey, you're doing Facebook ads. I can double the effectiveness at half the cost. People miss out that completely. So number one, how clear are you on the ROI so that if we go into a recession, you're the last one to get cut? The second part of it for a marketing agency is how do you have repeatable growth for your customers, right? Everyone's like, how do I get it? So Jordan Ross runs Twitter ads. The question for you is, what's the easiest way for you to get new customers? So Jordan found Twitter. For Isaac, the film guy who we've talked about a little bit in this show, how could you then email people saying, hey, here's a video I made for you. If you want video help in the future, I'd love to talk. What most people do is they say, hey, are you looking for video work? So how do you do the work for free to get people excited to talk to you? And I think that's one of the most underutilized. That's how you're here now working, because you emailed me saying, hey, I'm going to come work at your charity bike event for free. And that's what led you now to make good money running the YouTube channel and doing amazing videos. And so I think those are the two components that if you understand your economics, we talked about this earlier in the show, like if you can understand your economics, it's only 2733. So if you know you're 2733 and you understand your business, you understand the ROI, you understand how you can get repeatable customers, then you will have $1 million agency. Super easy.
Right. And built in that is like delivering on a really good service, right? And so what you talked about earlier, it's sort of the cheat code is do the thing you enjoy, because then it's easier to be able to double the efficiency of a Facebook ad.
I think that's, I don't want to say you're wrong, but I think what most people, it's not do a really good service, it's do a very valuable service.
Right.
And what most people are doing is doing a service that the person could cancel. And what you want to be is their oxygen. So if you're doing videos, if you're doing ads, if you're doing web design, be the thing where if you go away, they get. And what most people do is they're just a nice to have in these different people's businesses. Right. And I think that's the biggest disconnect, where how do you then make sure you're valuable enough that things get bad, you're the last one to get cut?
Right.
You don't believe me, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's saying the same thing of somebody hearing this might be like, oh, that offer would be really nice to double the effectiveness of a Facebook ad for half the cost, but they don't know how to do that. And so built into that is they have to learn to do that and like fulfill on what is valuable, right? And so if they hate Facebook ads and spend none of their time there, that's going to be really hard versus, oh, you love personal finance, or like, I like making video and content. That's a lot easier for someone.
I think for an agency, it's just think about the things you've been getting paid for, who's paid you in the past, or what you're doing in your free time. And then find out if that's something as an agency, people are excited to give you money for. Right now, AI is all the rage. Everyone's got a boner on AI. And so what parts of AI are people actually excited to give you money for? Is it going to be for their ads? Is it to replace could you go to people and say, hey, I'll replace your whole customer service team? I think the amount of opportunity that's been created with the whole AI thing is just out of control. Can you go to people and say, hey, tell me a customer, I'll bring you your next 10. I'll just tell you who your next 10 should be. And for everyone, you pay me $20. Most people are like, okay, give me a few free and I'll see. That's interesting. So what other things can you now bring to people that so clearly they'd be excited to then give you money for? I think what most people do is they're doing things, either they don't bring them actually the result, or they don't find something people really care about.
Right.
The other probably part that needs to be mindful of is that go to the people who have the money. For instance, I thought there's always this question, it's very annoying. What would you do if you had to start all over? And I was like, first off, I would never start all over. That'd be my first thing. But the first thing I would do is I would think about who are the richest people I can text. The first two people that come to mind are David Hauser sold his company Grasshopper 200 million, and Ankur Nagpal sold his company for 100 million or something like that. Teachable. I would go to them and kiss and say, hey, what are all the things you're doing in your life? What do you not want to be doing? Or what are you doing in your life that I could do more of for you? Because they have money. And so it's easier to try to justify them spending it on some event ROI for them. Now, most people are saying, well, no, I don't have any rich people. You have a dentist? Dentists are rich. Doctors, kind of rich. Lawyers, kind of rich. No, I don't go to the dentist. Okay. Make it super hard. Who do you know in your family that might know those people? And people don't realize that in your own network, there are people that can connect you with other people. So one of my favorite stories from I've got an investment opportunity because I have a parking spot landlord and I asked him, you seem rich. Like, what do you do? And he's like, I do this. And I was like, can I join you? He's like, sure. And I was like, oh, really? Yeah. And so think about who you know or who would know the people you know and ask them for opportunities of ways to connect with the people that have the money. Because a lot of times people are doing these things and you're not going to someone who can actually have money to give you.